Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a good gander at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. We also examine the worlds of education and workplace ethics. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations because we're breaking away from the one we're in now. You've tuned in to a live tarot throw. Today is February 24th, 2026. Welcome to the show. Here's what we have lined up for you today. First up, it's the Tarotscope Slot-Machine. All right. Then, why internet tarot card readers resent Breakaway Ray, but it's better titled in the description, Breakaway Ray is lucky. So I had to turn that over and write that down. Perhaps I will when I get to that part in the show. After Breakaway Ray gets lucky, or Breakaway Ray is lucky, we're going to answer the question. Well, actually, it's more like a rhetorical question. We're going to present the rhetorical question, where do babies come from? That's right, I did say rhetorical. We're going to think about it and wait till we get there. You'll see what I mean. And then also, leaping from that topic, we're going to go right to cosmology and identity, our perception of cosmology and our perception of identity currently. After that, we're going to ask the tarot world to comment on the idea of, let's see, here we go. What happens? Come on. What happens to us happens for us. And then finally, it's tarot for the audience. If you're interested in a tarot reading later on in the show, please type in all capital letters, tarot, please. And in about 35 minutes, I will check the chat and look for tarot requests. But in the meantime, I got the Tarotscope Slot-Machine lined up. So here's what I am going to do. I want to share with you something that used to happen in the 20th century when there were these things called newspapers. You would go to the entertainment section, and then they would have these spooky astrology horoscope thing, and you'd find out where your birthday is and find out what your sign is, your zodiacal sign, where your birthday lines up on the zodiacal wheel, right? And the little representation of that and the adjectives and the descriptive terms that go along with that particular birth month, what have you. In any case, you would read in the newspaper, and that was like your psychic connection for like the rest of the week. I mean, you open it up on a Sunday morning, bam, that's what you were going with. I used to know somebody who didn't really find like her sign worked for her all the time. So she would read all of them and then pick the one that she liked. And that sounds good to me too. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to also present three basically old school astrological kind of predictions and coachings, right? And I'm going to run it through three different tarot decks, and there'll be three cards for each of the decks. It's going to look like a slot machine. And then finally, from a fourth deck, I'm going to find out what the wisdom is that we have accumulated. I mean, we're going to pull the arm on the slot machine. We're going to throw those tarot cards down, and then the receptacle in the bottom is going to deposit all the treasure, and we can cash in our chips or what have you. We're going to collect some quarters. It's going to be a lot more. It's going to be worth a lot more than just a bunch of quarters, but we can all think of pentacles and the sound of the cash registers going ka-ching. Okay, when we get to that part of the show. Oh, here we are at that part of the show, everybody. Let's go to the tarot cam. All right. Check this out. Hang on, please, just a moment. I'm adjusting for the light. All right, so before we started the show, before I turned on the camera, I went ahead and shuffled the four decks that I'm going to play with. So these cards are all ready to be thrown. And this is, what have I got here? I'm going to start off with the craft deck, which is Rider-Waite imagery. And so are these two. I call this one the dark foil and this one the light foil. It'd be really great if I could get the light right on this, because especially with the foil, I know it's visually enchanting. Let's see what I can get going here. That might work out pretty good. Ooh, let's put this over here. Now I got more space. Sweet. All right, so we're going to start off with the craft deck. Okay, then we're going to go to the dark foil and the light foil, and then the 88 gemstones, and that's actually a very unique tarot deck, and we're going to save that one for last. But again, we're going to pull. We're going to get like 3 cards. It's going to give us a message, a fortune cookie, a horoscope. Same over here, and then I bet this one wraps it up real nice. I mean, I say I bet. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. I mean, if you're tuning in for the first time, there's magic every time I'm throwing tarot cards. Thanks a lot, Tarot World. You all plan it out pretty nicely. So we're going to set these aside just a moment so we can get started here with the craft deck. Okay, our first set of cards. Well, I'm going to pull from the top. I'm going to fan. And then I'm going to pull from the bottom. Okay, so we just pulled the arm on that deck. Oh, yeah, cool. All right, next up, we're going to go to the dark foil deck. Again, the first card off the top of the deck. The bottom one over there. And then let's fan. And let's just pull out one. There we go. 3 cards. Sweet. Ka-ching. I can't make that rattling sound effect right now. Here we go. And now with the light, the top one, the bottom one, you know, this one really feels distinguished to me. These feel like city cards to me. Just by looking at the back, it reminds me of Art Deco. Art Deco inside and out in New York City. Anyway, so let's take these 3. Oh, you know what? Let's conserve space. We're doing good here. There we go. Yeah, I said we're doing good. I'm a school teacher. I actually said that. All right. Let's set this deck over here. And we're going to go ahead and pull for the receptacle down at the bottom where we're going to collect all the treasure. Here we go. Because we intuitively knew it was a good time to draw that arm down and ask the tarot world to share its wisdom with us, because that's abundant in the universe. Okay, all the decks are accounted for. I kind of like that there's a glow there. I wish this, hang on. Oh, wait, almost, hang on. Yeah, excellent sound effects and everything. Let's see how this works. Wait a minute. A little bit more. Yeah, I could do that. All right, everybody. I don't want to get carried away. Sorry. Let's see how I do here. First up, we pulled the first time. We got the Emperor, the Moon. Wow. The Emperor, the Moon, and the 3 of Swords. And the message may sound something like, you're in control, even with the things on your mind and in your heart. And I would say that you're in control because you can see it even in the night and you recognize there's something there. And that's already an accomplishment. You can't control something you can't recognize. I bet there's some kind of an example of this in the Art of War, where it says, you know, if you don't know what's going on, it's better not to launch an attack. Okay. You know, expend your energy the right way. But what is draining your energy? It's like having a leak in your pipe in your house. Why is my water bill going up? You know, use your intuition, figure out there's something there. And that's already a start. I'm going to put the Emperor card on top, and I'm going to say that this has been resolved. We are addressing the issue. That's what they sent us here to do. That's what we agreed to come here to do. They hired us to deal with this situation, and our subconscious has to get involved. Our higher self has to get involved. There was already a game plan, everybody. See where I'm going with this? Okay. Next up, we pulled the arm again. Imagine your own sound effects. We got I will adjust the light for you in a minute. Oh, sweet. Oh, wow. So, yeah, you know what? I love these decks. We're going to make some more space over here for their representatives because these are some lovely cards we got going here. I don't gamble. I don't use the slot machines. What does 3 cherries mean? Something awesome? 3 bars? Anyway, we got the story out of this one. Sometimes you have to address what's bothering you, even if you don't remember what it is. Okay. And that's how you get control of your reality. That's for sure. You know, your intuition is glowing like moonlight. So anyway, hey, everybody, we got the Lovers card. We have the 7 of Wands, and we have the 3 of Cups. It almost doesn't matter what order you put them in. It doesn't matter. The 7 of Wands says you're there to take on all these challenges. You have the higher ground, okay? You signed up for this training. The Lovers card says you are in communion with your higher self and your spirit guides. This was a decision you made before you came down here to Earth. You're taking this opportunity. It's like going to an amusement park and staying for such a long time that you forget that you're in an amusement park. And then, you have to leave the park and go back to your real world. I liken that same thing, the same kind of experience when I went to a Club Med way back in the 1990s. I spent 14 days there. And let me tell you, it was it was like a cold shower leaving that place and going back to the real world after that. All the food's prepared for you, and all you got to do is walk around and play on the beach all day. Anyway, speaking of that, you asked for all these challenges. It was well planned out. You're being monitored and supported. Don't forget to ask for help. And guess what? Everybody's celebrating because we're all having a good time. It's like those paintball war games. You're all having a good time. Is it a challenge? Yeah. But you're having fun with your friends. Okay, so let's put the Lovers card on top. Well, gee, these are a lot of good cards. And the Party card on top. How do you top those cards? So we still have 2 sets to go. First up, it's the 10 of Pentacles. I think that's correct. Ooh, it's the 5 of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords. All right, Breakaway Ray, let's see you turn this into a positive. Well, there's wisdom and all the messages. We just don't see what the flavors look like until we put them together. Hang on a second. I know what I'll do. Here we go. Right, we got those guys set up. Okay, is this better? I had it just a second ago. All right, everybody. So we have the 10 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords can talk about things that are hidden and things that are being revealed. It can also talk about somebody getting away with something, okay? But then you take that idea, somebody getting away with something, that maybe they're taken away from somebody, okay? And here are your 5 of Pentacles guys, and they don't look like they have a lot. I don't know how they got there. It's not my business. I don't want to judge them. I want to wish them well, and if I can help them, I will. And certainly I'm going to ask the angels to bless them and support them. But is that what happened? Is there some kind of cause and effect, some kind of consequence for what was going on over here? Was somebody hiding something and getting away with it and leaving the rest of us out in the cold? Well, it doesn't matter anymore because ka-ching, 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 here comes the 10 of Pentacles. Again, we have the idea of being observant and realizing what's really around us, okay, as paying off. We are figuring out, like if you're tuning into this podcast, and I'm not going to name any others right now, but you're not buying the mass media and the stuff that we learn in school, and you could see easily all the way around you. There's something going on, and they still think that they can hide it from us. Well, they really can't do it. So they're in the process of revelation because we're just going to draw the veil ourselves, okay? And this whole situation where we were spiritually impoverished, guess what? We now understand how manifestation works and how to work with our spirit guides, how to line up our souls with our life's path there, okay? And that's actually going to bring us the abundance we need to keep doing what we're doing and having a good time. It's like getting one of those wristbands before you go into the amusement park and says you can go on all the rides you want. You don't have to count tickets, okay? Go on as many as you want. But obviously, we have to be cognizant of what's going on in order for us to be in control. And we were here to party in the first place. So now, here comes the end of our wisdom. Hey, let's put the 10 of Pentacles guy right on top, although I'm really proud of us about turning that 5 of Pentacles upside down. Okay, so here we go, everybody. The last cards, the 8 of Wands. Yeah, the 8 of Wands talks about travel and flight, but it also says right now. It's happening right now. Then we got the Strength card. And then we got the 9 of Swords. So here's how Breakaway Ray plays them. The 8 of the 8 of Wands, beg your pardon. The 8 of Wands says, so right now, it's like the tarot cards are talking to us right now, okay? This is like direct coaching. If you like, I'm channeling a message, everyone. Right now, everybody be strong. Even though sometimes it can be hard to sleep. All right, everybody be strong. Hang in there. We're celebrating over here while we're down here. We're enjoying it while we can. We're enjoying the ride while we can. We're being thankful for what we got. And not only that, we can pat ourselves on our back and we can be impressed with ourselves with the way we work with the spirit world to better and upgrade the world around us. So we're totally in control. It's the same pattern here. We're in control of what's going on and what we pay attention to on a conscious level and a subconscious level. So again, everybody, right now, everybody be strong. And that's what's going to get you past the tough times. So how about that? The first Tarotscope Slot-Machine. Ka-ching. Now I got 4 decks to toss. Thank you very much, Tarot World. Nice script. That was fun. And I just drew that and I got the Emperor again. You're in control, everybody. You're in control. Or maybe you're just in that chair watching the show right now. That's cool. Thanks for tuning in. Or thanks for watching the recording. I really appreciate it. While I'm tossing these, I'd like to mention that the description today is particularly precise and has a lot of video links that relate to today's presentation, which I talked about before I threw all these cards. Thank you, Tarot World. Tremendous. Great. We should present each deck with a bouquet of flowers. Such a wonderful performance. Hang on. There you go. Thank you, Tarot World. They're still taking their curtain call. Look at that. As long as we have the Emperor, how about the Empress? Wow. She looks great in that card. Wow. By the way, go to StarCard Podcast and check out the playlist, 5 Days with the Empress. Those were some fun days. All right. I see we have friends in the chat. I can't wait to read the chat after the show, but I'll be looking for guests shortly. Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna be able to multitask better next time I do this. Thanks a lot, Tarot World. I mean, your message is consistent, Tarot World. All right. Great. Okay. Thanks for being patient, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. I see we have quite a nice crowd there. In case you haven't checked at the top of the chat, I've left some instructions about making a request for a tarot reading later on Oh, well, you know what? You did see a lot of decks already. The other decks that you did not see, if you're familiar with tarot, you know about Robin Wood. You'd be familiar with the other ones. You saw quite a nice selection from my collection today. So anyway, next up, Breakaway Ray is lucky. That's right. I was going to rewrite that on the back. Let me get a marker. I mean, that is a good thing to write down. And you know, I used to have a career in the classroom, and believe it or not, I'm not asking you to judge me, but maybe you want to forgive me. But I also found that it was effective, and people mention this in manifestation. In any case, you know, as a teacher, I would say to myself, this is a good thing to write maybe 50 times or 100 times. But I'm going to write this right now. Breakaway Ray is lucky. Maybe you want to grab a piece of paper and a pencil and do it the same if you want to play along at home. All right. Breakaway Ray is lucky. Hang on. Okay. But when I present Breakaway Ray is lucky, I'm going to be doing it in a persona of someone who also reads tarot cards on the internet. Okay. And what I want to say is I feel like I understand their point of view. When you're someone like they are, perhaps, and they're working hard and they've been doing this for a long, long time, and they're very practiced at it, and you know they've got whatever's going on, how many subscribers, but they're trying to make a living out of this. And then here I come, and Breakaway Ray is giving away free readings in the middle of his live tarot throws. So just to have fun, you know, I'm going to present it as if I'm going to say some things as if that person, because I feel I can understand that person's point of view. I've been there before. For example, you know, I spent, in case you're new here, I spent 33 years in an elementary school classroom. And, you know, of course, there would always be new additions to the staff. When someone is a new addition to the staff, that doesn't mean that everyone starts over at square one. Just because you just showed up doesn't mean someone else didn't already spend 20 or 25 years there figuring things out, etc., and paying their dues. Anyway, I'm going to try to keep it light. So anyway, Breakaway Ray is lucky. Let me get my notes. Here I go. All right. So yeah, I'm checking my notes because it sounds much better that way. Let me see if I can do something better with my light here. All right. Why would an internet tarot card reader resent Breakaway Ray? Well, first of all, Breakaway Ray doesn't even try. Have you seen this guy? He's just kind of like shuffling and throwing cards and making up stories. Anyway, he even says, oh yeah, okay, so at this point, this persona, this contrarian, this you know, generality stereotype of someone throwing tarot cards and checking me out, okay, they may feel like the character Antonio Salieri in the movie Mozart from, I want to say that was a 20th century movie, 1990, Hulce, and that guy, and he was also in Animal House, the National Lampoon movie. Anyway, tremendous performance as Mozart, but guess what? It was the gentleman who played Antonio Salieri who got the Oscar, the best supporting role. Anyway, in that story, Antonio Salieri, he's like a professional and he works really hard. And when he plays his music, it sounds like it sounds like a child trying very hard. It's all stilted and the melody is very simple. And then when Mozart comes in, he just kind of wings it and it sounds like jazz music and he's having a good time with it. You know, again, Salieri is like looking at the upstart that way. Anyway, so you're a tarot card reader, you're checking out Breakaway Ray. Breakaway Ray just started. He just started. Okay. And he like apparently has a good, a good batting average. That's a good way to put it. Okay. But now what these tarot card readers don't see is that there was a certain amount of cross training going on in my life. That's right. My whole life. So if you're familiar with NBA basketball, and now I'd have to say NBA basketball Hall of Famers or NBA basketball history, there's a player from the Houston Rockets called Hakeem Olajuwon. That's right. He's an all-star. He's probably one of the top 100 players of all time. He played center for the Rockets. They won championships, etc. But guess what? When he grew up, he was a volleyball player, never played basketball until like into his 20s, I think. You know, he'd grown up on volleyball. Anyway, I just spent, 33 decades in a classroom. And I just want to say that there's some aspect of trying to tell stories to make the kids see what's going on, make the students perceive the patterns and things like that so that they can learn for themselves. I think that there's something here going on. Like Breakaway Ray, you know how to teach, so take this message and deliver it to your audience. So I think I'm getting some help. Okay. I always know that I had this help, but it was like a long process of training. And the other thing that they don't see, of course, is that I'm not pulling out the notebook. Okay, so did I have some time off? Okay, hang on before we address any of that stuff, okay? So yeah, did I have some time off? Yeah, but I went ahead and I applied the laws of karma. I made industrious. I'm all, we're coming up on a year now. I'm all, what's going on with tarot cards? If I can do this and I can do that and I got these fancy credentials and degrees, come on, I can learn 78 cards. I did not know what was going on. But anyway, I practiced and I was doing like 2 hours a day. And I'm not just like throwing cards and making up stories. I'm writing it down because, again, spent a long time in the classroom and also as a playwright. Like, again, I'm like creating a persona. I'm having a dialogue with someone. And then I can type it out and I can make those characters talk to each other, for example. When you're watching me, somehow I talk to myself for 40 minutes and some people are still trying to like, so there's like, they're enjoying what I'm doing. So great. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. I'm having a good time. So let me see what I got here. Yeah. I want to say like, I had a couple of decades of practice, learning languages. I've studied some other languages as well. I've got several disciplines under my belt. I've got credentials to teach different subjects. So, and there's all kinds of learning and teaching involved. And also, there's a certain amount of professional pride I take, right, in making my studio and the performer and the host look good. So I'm happy to dress up. Thanks for welcoming me into your home. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll share some ideas with you and make you think. I'm trying to show you that there's something outside the aquarium. We can all pay attention to this. It's empowering. That's what I think is going on here. So let me see. Okay. And then the other thing is, of course, that persona, the contrarian that I'm talking of, this pretend person, he does it for free and I'm busting my hump to make a living. He sure seems privileged in that way that he can just do it. He's not expecting any income. Well, yeah, I'm not expecting any income. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. But all right. So you know what else? Not everyone, again, if you've just tuned in, you didn't see what happened in the last 30, 40 years. Everyone's got a story. And some of us, how do we say, we have people in our lives that showed us how to be frugal and how to manage our energies in general, the future, and how to save for a rainy day. No one wants a rainy day, but thank God for a rainy day. And it turns out it's matching out well with, where I am at what age I'm at right now. So I'm seizing the day right now. It seems like things are coming together for me in lots of ways. At least I'm supposed to recognize that. I'm supposed to recognize that I'm getting lucky. So am I getting lucky? Yeah. Was I always lucky? Maybe not. Okay, maybe not. And if you've explored the concept of upfronting your karma, if you've explored that concept before, okay, maybe that's what's going on. Maybe, I don't know. It's something that just keeps showing up on my video feeds. So let me see. I got through one page, everybody. Next up. Oh, yeah. So that was Breakaway Ray is lucky. Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. All right. That's the 3 of Wands, baby. All right. Speaking of babies. Okay. Where do babies come from? Where do babies come from? Okay, well, check out these ideas. I want to talk to you about underground cloning facilities. If you go to the description in today's yeah, if you go to today's description, there's a couple of videos there about cloning. Okay, that includes the Donald Marshall Show, and there is a video by Arkeem Ra there from Disclosure Now. I think the name of his channel has changed. I'm sorry, I'm not up to speed on that. But if you know Arkeem Ra, you know Arkeem Ra, okay? And he tells us that there is an underground facility in Appleton, Wisconsin, which is a town I never heard of before until, I learned about Arkeem Ra. Arkeem Ra is a secret space program experiencer. He's a Montauk survivor. He's a podcaster. Check out his channel. He has a free Patreon section. He has lots of good secret space program content. So anyway, so if you have one in Appleton, and wherever they take Donald Marshall, okay, I would like to point out that you have like a bunch of old world cities. First, let's talk about New York City, and then Washington, D.C. These cities have subway systems. I mean, I'm going to extrapolate for entertainment purposes only, okay? And then how about other cities like San Francisco and St. Louis? And then finally, I'm kind of astonished to find out what Indianapolis, old world Indianapolis look like. Okay. And if you go to today's description, I've got one on Old World Buffalo from Old World Exploration. So I want to say thanks to that gentleman. There's a lot of knowledge out there. And what I'm doing is, do I have the leisure, we'll use that word in quotation marks, I have the leisure to have collected some information by not watching TV and reruns and things, by listening to YouTube and Rumble and gathering some information. So I have a different perspective on things that I did like 12 years ago. So I'm happy to present it. So, you could just click on StarCard Podcast and get a quick dose of it, okay, and jump ahead. You don't have to go through all the learning steps and clicking on all the links. I'm trying to compose it all into a quick bite-sized morsel for you, okay, a little fast food for thought. So anyway, I believe that all these old world cities, they're magnificent. Just looking at the pictures of the buildings on the outside, of course, they're marvels of architecture. What is often overlooked, because there's not a lot of photographs of the interiors, is that, even on the inside, it was even more amazing. It was more amazing. Again, I encourage you to go check out Old World Exploration. You can start there. There's another guy named Jared Boosters. He does them, and John Levi or Levy. I can't remember how he says his name. But anyway, those are all places you can. Michelle Gibson is another place where, she takes the Old World Exploration up a notch, okay, and she blends it with the occult, okay. That's a place to fast forward for you if you're really up to that kind of thing. So, if it's true, if my, philosophically speaking, hypothetically speaking, let's say, okay, if my supposition is true and there's like a full-on underworld, undercity under all of these old world cities, okay, if it's really there, and it kind of explains a lot, because some of the research that we've seen, or that I've seen rather, I'm not saying I got it right, it's presenting this fun stuff for thought, right? It's fun stuff to think about, okay? There's a huge population increase around the last turn of the century. And I mean, from the 1800s into the 1900s, the 19th century into the 20th century, around the world, there's a gigantic boom in a population. And then, we could say it was all from migration, but anyway, not all the math seems to shake out from what I've seen. And then it also, it also speaks to something that some other secret space program experiences have spoken about, which is actually rescuing a city and repopulating it, or repopulating it with clones, for example. And I keep referring to the famous story about Dresden, Germany in World War II that John Whitberg speaks about. And I think that's listed in the description. If you go down the list, there's a couple of John Whitberg videos, and one of them actually says Breakaway Civilizations. And I think that's the video in which he talks about what happened in Dresden. And gratefully, I had an opportunity to speak with John Whitberg myself. And so at the top of my description, one of my featured videos is with Julia Ankerhaven and I speaking with John Whitberg. And part of the title includes Why Space Germans Leave Clones Behind. So if, wholesale population change can happen like that, okay, if that's like a real thing, that's something maybe we can all think about. Okay, that kind of explains how our ancestry kind of gets lost about 120, 130 years ago. We kind of gets lost. Anyway, let's see what else I've got here. Yeah, I got all that. Yeah, Chris O'Connor, by the way, is another person who said something along those lines about a city in World War II, one of the cities in Japan, having, you know, their souls rescued, you know, a time freezing moment and like a massive industrial scale wholesale removal of those souls so that we don't lose those souls. And then, you know, clicking the time on again. Science fiction. Yeah, couldn't it be? I wish it was. I hope it still is. It's still entertaining to think about. Okay, but anyway, here we are. It's the turn of the 20th century. It's like the 1900s. All of a sudden, there's people everywhere. There's orphanariums. Orphanariums. There were huge buildings filled with parentless children. It's terrible. Where did all these poor orphans come from? There were orphan trains. I barely knew. Orphan trains were never on my radar until after I turned 50 years old. Orphan trains, what's going on? Where were all these coming from? Where do they all come from? And yeah, there's the huge population explosion. Wait a second, there's more. Baby incubators. They had those at the World's Fairs and the World's Expos, baby incubators. You mean you had a society that went around from riding ponies and pulling carts to suddenly plugging into electricity and keeping babies warm. That's like advanced medical technology, right? That's an amazing quantum leap in neonatal care. That's amazing. And we still use them today, practically the same kind of device. But wait a second. Where did all these babies come from? Okay, so I'd like to refer everyone to the Donald Marshall video in the description, and you can learn more about cloning, and that's going to quote unquote blow your mind. Okay, so where do babies come from? Have I got all that covered? Okay, hang on. This is all going somewhere, right? Breakaway Ray? Cosmology and identity. I'm going to go back in time. I'm using my imagination right now. I'm going to go back in time. Let's just say to my grandfather's lifetime, just because it's a familiar character with STARCARD podcast viewers. I'm speaking about my grandfather who lived till he was 103, passed away in 2010, born in 1907. His name was Dan or Dante. Anyway, I mean, let's go all the way back. What were the challenges in his life? He didn't need the challenge of, you know, poverty, but he experienced it. He lived in an orphanarium. He lived in an orphanage. Even though his mother was alive, she sent him away. And it's possible she had to send him away because there was some kind of pressure in the community and somebody was looking for him. And so he needed to be hidden. So the church took him in, and he even used a different name when he was in the orphanage. So that's an unusual start. And then once he became an adult, you know, he religiously obeyed routine. Church on Sunday, if not more days of the week. 40 years of work in the United States Postal Office. Earned his retirement. His challenges were, okay, he had them and he had to experience a Roman Catholic perspective. He did a pretty good job. You know, he was he was like an all-star Catholic. He was really good at what he was doing there, and it benefited him. But would his cosmology be different? Just to find out when he gets on the outside that he only did it so that he could rebalance energies that he came into that lifetime with. To learn the lesson about pinching your pennies, only taking what you need, getting along with others, being happy, choosing to be happy even after all your family and friends are gone, choosing to be happy even though, you know, you're in a strange place, in a strange retirement hotel on the other side of the country and you never expected this before. You know, choosing happiness, even though the wheels came off in the 1980s and you still have 40 more years to live, because today is the first day of the rest of your life. All right. So something for us all to think about, because we're all electromagnetic beings, And we're just here for the ride. And if you're tuning in, I hope it's because you meant to tune in and you're supposed to tune in to hear this kind of stuff, because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I'm not here to, I don't want to ruin it for you. So anyway, that means that, whatever challenges my grandfather had, whatever challenges my neighbor has, whatever challenges my brother has that I don't even know about, okay, and I'm not even saying which brother, I presume that everyone who's on earth right now has got some kind of challenge going on, and we should all be blessed and thankful. We're on a roller coaster right now. It's a thrill. There's ups and downs. We could have like massive G-force. There's spectacular things to see on the ride. We can't get too caught up on how we feel about it, because the cart's going to go around the corner again real soon, and we got to hang on, and we got to make the right decision. And that's the important thing, everybody. You want to see a change in life. Well, apply yourself. I didn't get here after 1 year by snapping my fingers and making like Genie from I Dream of Genie several hours a day. I applied myself to wherever I called to go. And I remember that I'm going to create, I'm going to have fun. And now I get to share it on YouTube. I got people watching the show. Yay. I'm checking out the count over there. Hi, everybody. I'm going to check out the chat in a minute. So, hey, everybody. So maybe sometimes you're feeling a little bit down. Well, you know what? What happens to us happens for us. So we decided what rides we wanted to go on. We decided, let's suppose we decided what rides we wanted to go on. So now let's find out how much fun it is. Let's let the tarot world explain to us how much fun it is to be here and to exercise our powers and stretch out our minds while we're down here on surface planet Earth. Okay, and then after that, it's tarot for the audience. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Ooh, long start. Well, it was a long opener with tarot, the opening tarot thing. All right, so let's go downstairs. And what happens to us happens for us. One moment, everybody. Here we go. What happens to us happens for us. What happens to us happens for us. Makes you want to open up the fuse box and see what's going on in there. Lift up the hood and take a peek. Whoa. What happens to us happens for us. Did I survive that experience? That is remarkable. I'm now a better person. What didn't make me any longer? And I could take that strength with me into the next life. So these are the cards. Ooh, I didn't see I had a second one down there. While I was shuffling, okay, and we can see the 5 of Wands is there. The orchestrated conflict, kind of like I was hinting at or suggesting. It's a ride with ups and downs, but it's all planned out. It's all kind of orchestrated and choreographed. That's why sometimes we have repeat patterns in our life, right? But we're off to a good start if we're recognizing the dance moves already. If that's what we're recognizing, you know what? You can say this: what happens to us happens for us. But yeah, first, let's recognize what's happening to us. Once we recognize it, that's a good thing, and that's a good first step. I wonder what's underneath. Yeah, recognition. The 6 of Wands, public recognition. So we want to recognize what happens to us because it happens for us. All right, and there's the 10 Cups. You want peace and harmony in your home, even manifestation right from all the abundance around us. Okay, first let's address what it is that we disturb, just to say disturb, right? It's time for us to start studying those things that we're not trained to do. Some people are out there doing that though. Anyway, let's see what's supposed to be the beginning of the message. But I would say like there's a benefit to what we're talking about when we're saying let's recognize what's on the inside. Stop blaming other people. Stop blaming circumstances. Where is it coming from? How long has this been going on? Anyway, let's see what's going on over here. The 9 of Wands. Yeah, I'm beat up and I've gone through the ringer, Breakaway Ray. You trying to cheer me up here? Do I really have control? The 3 of Cups says, you know what? This is a party. This is a game. This is like it's like one of those games at a birthday party, and there's going to be party favors. It's just a challenge. It's just an obstacle course. It's the end of the year party. Okay. It's a day at summer camp in lots of ways. Our lifetime here on planet Earth is so short compared to people out in the break. Those are the oligarchs and the so-called elites. I don't know how elite they are. Here we are. We had to go through boot camp to get here, and now we can celebrate because it says the Knight of Wands. On to the Fool's new beginning. So in order to keep manifesting it, let's recognize all parts of ourselves, our yin and our yang, our subconscious and our waking state. And let's remember that everyone else has one of those too. What happens to us happens for us. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate your attention. Good luck to you. I just cut the shuffle. Oh, sorry. Well, the point is we got the Lover's card. And that simply means that I'm going to say the Tarot World's taking a bow, and it should. That was a great message. I agree, Tarot World. That was cool. Hey, what we're going to do now is tarot for the audience. I'm going to look in the chat. I'm going to see who's there. I'm going to pull out name tags because some people already have name tags here at StarCard Podcast. If you're new, I'm going to make a name tag for you. Thanks for tuning in. One moment, please. Wow, that's a lot of writing to read. Wow, okay. Hi, Puck Elf. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you again. Wow, I see someone. For me to be me. Oh, I remember For Me to Be Me. Anyway, I think I've read for you before. Great to see you. Thanks for tuning in again. Hi, Kimberly Bamford. Thank you for tuning in. Hi, Lisa Talcott. All right. Hey, Lisa, I think I missed your question the first time. And if you'd like, we could try again today. Let's see who else is here. Hi, Arizona Raven. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Jason, missing time 420. All right. Thanks for tuning in. And Nishan, good to see you again, Nishan. Thanks for tuning in. I'm trying hard to say hi to everybody. And also it helps me to inventory which name tags I need to look for. Okay. So, that's right. For Me to Be Me. Yeah, on Rob's show. There you go. That's why I don't have a name tag for you yet. I'm glad you could be here. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to get the name tags out now. Arizona Raven. Puck Elf. So like if I pull your name tag out and you don't want a reading, now would be a good time to type in the chat in all capital letters. No, thank you. I'm just here to have a good time. That's, however you like. But I'm assuming that people that are here want a reading. So I'm going to pull out your name tags. Okay. There we go. Missing time 420. Kimberly Bamford. Lisa Talcott. Am I missing somebody? Oh, Amy Rizzo's here. Hi, Amy. Yeah, cool. We're going to make one for Amy also. I'm checking spelling. There we go. Good. Got it. Amy. And yeah. For me to be me. There we go. Feel like there's somebody else there I might be missing. Very good, Lisa. I see your message. Okay, Jason, I saw yours. I'm scanning through to make sure I'm not missing somebody though. All right. For the moment, I think I got everybody, but oh, there you go, Nishan. Thank you, Nishan. Cool. All right, way to go, Nishan. I'm gonna drop you at the front of the line right now. Anybody else I missed? Anyone else who wants a reading? You can drop it in the chat. Thanks so much for inviting me to read. This is a lot of fun. I appreciate the practice. I'm going to clean up the tarot table a little bit here. I think that might be more interesting for you than guessing what I'm doing. All right, so I got Nishan, Puck Elf, missing time 420, question about the astral. Yeah, let's get the, you know what? I need to scroll back through. Yeah, Lisa Talcott had a particular question. Okay. And then, I should go through and see if there are other particular questions and just line those up first, if that's all right with everybody. Again, thanks for being patient. Hang on. Well, you know what? I'll go with these. Did Nishan have a particular question? Let's see what, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I'm looking for a message from Nishan just to see if there's, if it's a general reading, if there's a particular deck. There you go. Thank you, Nishan. That helps. Okay. Here we go. All right, Puck Elf, I see your excellently highlighted message. Thank you very much. I'll have no problem relocating that message if I need it later. And for the moment, We're going to throw some cards for Nishan. Any messages from the spiritual team? Here we go. Very good for me to be me. Excellent. I appreciate that very clear request. All right. You're all getting very good out there. Okay. So some cards popped out here, but I'm going to go ahead and start over. Okay. Here we go, Nishan. I'm closing my eyes and I'm asking, is there a message from Nishan's spiritual team? Thank you very much. A message for Nishan, please. Nishan's spiritual team. From Nishan's spiritual team. Okay, so we got a pile of 4 there. I'm going to pull the top and the bottom off here, Nishan. It's all for entertainment purposes only. Let's see what's going on before we explore with the, wow, we can see right off the top here, the 10 of Pentacles and the Emperor. I think there's something to the levels that they're on. Let's set these aside for a moment. That's pretty exciting, whatever's going on over there. Hang on a second, please. Here we go. Okay, but here's the top and the bottom card. The opening message for Nishan from the spiritual team. Yay! Oh, sweet. Check it out. You got the Sun card and the Justice card. Nishan, everything's going to be all right. The sun is shining. Everything's going to be just fine. Not only that, it's justice. It's the right thing. You must have so much integrity that you're elevating to a different vibration, if you can use that analogy, that metaphor. Okay, you're leveling up, and the stuff that may have been a bother in the past, it's in the past. You can look back on it now as like a past life, because let's explore your other cards. The 10 of Pentacles, domestic bliss, divine harmony, wealth, abundance. Underneath, the Empress. This is someone who is manifesting control over a part of the planet by using, her subconscious to connect with all consciousness around her. So, people may only see how well to do you might be doing. You might be better off. People might be envious. They didn't see, as I explored earlier in the show, just how much it took for you to get there, how many lessons you learned. Okay. And then check that out. You know what? It started by celebrating your life and your life's path, whatever your struggles were. You had that concept of amor fati going, AMOR FATI, a Latin expression meaning, love your fate. You were celebrating it every day. Is this a new challenge? It was like going to school and loving school every day because there was always some kind of fun new thing going on. And you know what's behind at the bottom of the pile? A lot of stuff that people didn't see, but it's so far in the dark now. It's so far in the past. People were getting away with stuff, or things were taken away, but it doesn't matter now. That's so far in the past. It's so far in the dark. You had to get the Empress to help you reveal it in the first place. You had to enjoy the challenge of going into the crawl space to discover whatever you could find down there. And then once you got control of that part of the planet, that part of the domain, okay, everything else followed suit. That's why everything's so groovy for you, Nishan. Thanks for inviting me to read. I hope that was a fun one. Well, hello. There's Danica Crabtree in the chat. Hi, Danica Crabtree. I want to grab your name tag right away. Stand by, please. We're still in February, and I think Danica has a Valentine. Yeah, right on, Nishan. You're very welcome. I appreciate your feedback. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Cool. All right, and I got to... What? Hey, you know what, Danica? Did you have a schoolhouse? Yeah, you did. I got it. Here you go, Danica. I'm going to put you in the pile. Hey, everybody. I'm going to take care of Puck Elf right now. Let me get Puck Elf's school out here. Hey, Puck Elf, you're up. And yeah, I'm Puck Elf, why I must become Captain Amazing and destroy my foes with a smile and a cheer. Killing them with courtesy and kindness. Wow. Yeah, that's a great question. Let's find out from the Robin Hood deck, Puck Elf. Why do we have to kill him with courtesy? Why do we have to add that with courtesy part on? That's not how I always feel. There must be some lesson. Well, I guess we can't go around through the galaxy marauding, especially if creatures have to evolve yet. If they're not on our plane yet, we have to allow them to catch up. It's all just a playground. All right, that's me riffing. Maybe I'm just talking to myself here, Puck Elf. Okay. Why does he have to become Captain Amazing and destroying foes with a smile and a cheer? Well, that's the best way. Okay, you're saving your energy, and you've just shown that they haven't affected you. They can't alter you. They can't engage you. They can't get you to use your energy anyway, except the way you want to use it. So you might as well smile at them. Trick or treat. Yeah, justice. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. Treat others the way you want to be treated. The King of Pentacles. Act like the King of Pentacles. That guy's not going to get off his throne. You know what? If someone's going to dance around in the throne room, that's their business. Eventually, he's going to get tired and leave. I'm sitting on my throne. I got the pentacle. I know when to use it. It's so easy, says the Five of Cups, to look at how the cups are on the ground and they made a mess on the carpet. Who's going to clean that up? Okay. This is worthy to be upset about. But yeah, we still have some cups, and these cups are just fine. And we can walk away from this. That's going to be our Eight of Cups, because we got a lot of good things going for us. We got our pentacle in our back pocket. So anyway, Puck Elf, I hope that message was fun to listen to. And of course, I always thank you for inviting me to read. I appreciate your support. Yeah, there you go, Puck Elf. I like your message. Puck Elf writes, I smile at death with cheer and good fortune. That's right. Wow, that's almost samurai-like, I would venture to say. Cool deal, Puck Elf. All right, next up. So I'm going to catch up with Lisa Talcott here. I'm going to go back. Yeah, I'm going to go back to this deck. Basically, you're asking a yes or no question, and I understand it's a health-related question, Lisa. And so okay, so if I want yes or no, I have to use this deck. This deck has the words on it. This will give us yes or no cards, and then it'll also offer us a story, maybe like a little timeline of something going on. I think there's 4 cards that will tell us the timeline of what's going on. Of course, you're going to have this weird perspective because this is STARCARD podcast. It's going to sound spiritual or something. All right. So in any case, let me start over here. It's all for entertainment purposes only. Hey, Tarot World, would you like to shed any light on Lisa Talcott's query? Is there like a timeline you can show us about her health? Can we have a confirmation? Is it true? What's going on? These cards are for Lisa. Here we go. So let's see what happens, Lisa. Wow. That's probably not the card that you want to see. It is the death card. But also, let's look down here in the corner, because down here sometimes it says yes or no or maybe. So I'm going to get my magnifying glass and look it up. Hang on a second. That better be comedy, Tarot World. Hey, the good news is it says no down here. So do you have that? According to this particular card, the answer is probably no. But you know what? It is the death card, which talks about changes, endings, and beginnings. So maybe there is something going on, but could it be tied to that particular thing that you mentioned? Maybe not. I'd like to read you what it says on the death card right now and see if this helps at all. The death card, endings, beginnings, change, transformation, transition, metamorphosis, end of a cycle. Metamorphosis. Hey, did you read Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka when you were in college? That's like one of my favorite stories. Anyway, Lisa, I I wish you the best of health and, of course, not to turn into a giant insect. Let's find out more about what might be going on. So, the Wheel of Fortune. Let's read right what it says on the card. The Wheel of Fortune, good luck, karma, life cycles, destiny, turning point, change, inevitable fate, ups and downs, and unpredictable. So, did I hear about life cycles in 2 instances already? The Seven of Swords, something's going to be revealed to you. Something's going on. It feels like something might even be sapping some form of energy. It's definitely drawing your attention, isn't it? The Six of Pentacles talks about giving and receiving. I wonder if something's feeding into it, right? That would be like if there's something we had to cut out of our diet or out of our life or in general, because this represents a cycle. It's like a washing machine that's perpetually on, until you have to go over and manually turn it off. And the answer may lie and come to you in meditation. And I'm definitely going to extol the virtues of that. When you're in that hypnagogic state before you fall asleep, you can, definitely command your subconscious, I command thee, because God is inside of me, reveal to me what is going on here. Give me some clues. And if you don't see it in your dream, you'll probably learn more about it right when you wake up. And the next day, you'll be heading in the right direction as to where you inquire and seek support. And a lot of it might be on the inside. So to review, no, it may not be what you think, but yes, there might be some kind of change. There might be something going on. Maybe something's feeding into it. Hopefully there's nothing toxic in your environment, but we can all find the answers by turning inward. That's something that, again, we don't grow up learning about, and I don't mind repeating it here at StarCard Podcast. Good luck to you, Lisa. Thanks for inviting me to read. You're welcome. Cool. I hope I'm delivering good news. So next up, I got Jason. Makes me want to take out the neon deck, which if Jason wants it, I will. Wait, Jason asked about, the astral. I have to pull out the neon deck. Hang on. What was Jason's question? Here you go, Jason. You're the magician. Cool. But I do want to see what Jason's message was. So give me a moment, everybody. I want to scroll up. Looking for missing time 420. He left me a message. Yeah, I did. Okay. There you go. Message that I'm not getting in the astral. Oh, okay. Like, you came back before you got all the information. They were still working on the report, but you had to go. Oh, okay. So what was left out? What was left out of the debriefing before you had to go in situ? Now that I'm away from campus, please relay to me the follow-up information I require, if there is any. Here we go. These cards are for missing time 420. Oh, you're looking for like like an epilogue to what you already explored. Okay, so these cards for Jason. All right. All right, Jason, let's give it a try. I want to pull one more, please, because these cards are really cool looking. All right. There we go. Here we go, Jason. Oh, man. Oh, sweet. I think I got the light finally. Great. So first up, it's the Queen of Swords. That's the card that tells me you were right. Is there a message that you left without from the astral? You're right. Here comes the message. The Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles talks about feeling abandoned and forlorn and isolated. But let's not forget, I mean, even though we have a sensation of being isolated, you know, there's a whole world outside of that building. You know, at least we have each other. So maybe this actually represents, I don't know if you're into theater, Jason, but it kind of looks like the stage is set for two characters who are looking into the scenery as if they're looking out to a world that they haven't seen before. You were right. Here's the stage. The stage is set. You recognize the setting. You know your lines. Cue card. Four of Pentacles. Prizing what shines. Delivering light where you can. I mean, it's hard to juggle all of them. There's four. You only got two hands, but I think you're doing it. You're kind of like one of those beer ladies in Oktoberfest. She can carry multiple mugs at a time. Now I think I see like two lanterns in each hand. So somehow you're doing it. You know, you're finding what's bright and instructive and you're sharing it with others. You're bringing the light around with you wherever you go. The stage was set. You're doing your job. You totally know what's going on. This is not news to you. And sweet. There's the Seven of Swords, which talks about something being hidden or being revealed. And I want to say it probably has revelation in mind. And I like how this person looks like a hero. It's a very heroic stance. Okay. Black Widow's sister would call it like a poser's stance. She's got all those lightsabers. Okay. But the Seven of Swords, you know, talks about people getting away with stuff, but no, not with Missing Time 420 around. Okay. He's bringing the light around to show everybody, you know, what's really going on. This is a recognition of your mission. Okay. So I need a little light here. The Four of Swords, you know this from meditation. Oh, what a great image. Definitely a holographic feel there. Okay. Then over here, we have the Three of Swords, which talks about heartache and pain. But check it out. It closes with the Lover's card. And I'm pretty sure you know, because you're a longtime viewer, the Lover's card tells me, especially at the end of a message like this, that not only is this a message from the spirit world, but you're working together with the spirit world. The spirit world's here right now. The spirit world made sure that these cards came out in this order in a way that you would understand and make meaning to you. So let's finish it up. Jason, you were right. The stage is set. You understand your mission. You're doing the job that no one else can. Connect with us again in meditation. And don't worry about heartaches and pains. That's part of the program because we're working on this together. You have the spirit world on your team. They don't, nobody else sees your bodyguards. Okay. You're being taken care of. Jason, thanks a lot. I hope that was inspiring. You inspire me when you tune in. I appreciate it very much. Groovy, man. All right, next up. For Me to Be Me. I think For Me to Be Me had a question. Was it about finances? I'm going to go back up and check. I'm going to have fun reading this after the show. Hang on for me to be me. I'm still looking for you. Yeah, you're Irish Scottish. Great. Well, let's start celebrating St. Patrick's Day early. Let's see, where are you? Wow, there's quite a lot of chat, everybody. Thanks very much. I'm glad you're having a good time out there. It was financial increase timeline. Got it. Okay, thank you. Financial increase timeline. $88 gemstones. Here we go, Tarot World. This is no challenge for you. Could you please share a timeline for me to be me? A financial timeline, please. We're separating the financial timeline from other forms of wealth. No, that's not quite right. But we're certainly focusing on that part of the timeline, the financial part of the timeline. For me to be me. For me to be me. I'm wondering if we're going to see the Four of Pentacles, but here we go. For me to be me. It's for entertainment purposes only. I'm glad you're having a good time. Thanks for joining me. First up, it's the Judgment card. That talks about swapping out the old and bringing in the new. I wonder if I can bring it a little bit more light there. That's looking pretty good. Okay, great. Then, next up, it's the Six of Cups. Nostalgia, happy memories, helping each other out. The Knight of Pentacles. He's the person you want working on your team. He has the mission objective down. He's got the long haul attitude and the long-term view in mind. He wants to support the team. And a lot of times he gets stuff done. And if he didn't do it, or if she didn't do it, it wouldn't get done. He keeps the whole farm running. No wonder everyone likes being with this person. He or she cooperates with everybody. I'm going to just flip these other two cards over here. Wow, check that out. That's funny. So there's the Hangman, but look at how I flipped it upside down. It was upside down. And then next to that is the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. We talked about the Knight of Pentacles and how he's able to be a good member of the corporation. And, when you see the Rider-Waite imagery, he's like the guy on the horse who's looking at the garden, the cultivated fields that he's watching over very carefully. And the Seven of Pentacles talks about nurturing and cultivating as well. And this is all about Pentacles also. But the Hangman usually says, take a look at things in a different way. And when it showed up like this, I don't do a lot of reverse cards, but it might be saying, you know what, for me to be me, we're not looking at things in a different way. Maybe we need to broaden our perspective. Maybe that's why you're asking some guy on the internet who throws tarot cards to throw a timeline about a financial timeline. So what does a timeline look like? There's a big change in you're coming out, but thank goodness you were able to cultivate many great relationships, because finances aren't the only kind of wealth. Obviously, relationships are relationships, and connections help when you can support one another. You have something to share, and you have a community out there waiting for you to plug your puzzle piece in. Where is that community? I'm not sure. we're going to have to take a look around, and that's why I'm going to turn this card right side up. And that's going to lead to the Seven of Pentacles, and you're going to be back in action doing what you do best. I hope that worked out for you, For Me to Be Me. Thank you very much for inviting me to read. Good luck. I'm going to say, by the way, that I'm not going. Hey, Jason, I see your thank you. You're welcome, Jason. Thank you very much. So I'm going to say, everybody, me. Yeah, you're welcome, For Me to Be Me. Thank you very much. So, hey, Amy Rizzo, I'm going to pull out the Ethereal Bloom deck. It's got some flowers and some lovely imagery. I don't know what your preference is, but here you go, Amy. Thanks for joining me again. Good to see you. We're in Lent, aren't we? This particular season for families like ours, I suspect. These cards are for Amy. Always having a good time on the internet. Right on, Amy. Cards for Amy Rizzo. Thank you very much. These cards for Amy. I built you a little bit of a pyramid here, Amy. Let's see what happens. This is all for entertainment purposes. Oh, wow, Amy. Here comes a message from the spirit operators on the phone. It's a collect call from the spirit world. Will you accept the charges? Yes, we will. It's the Ace of Pentacles. You have a new opportunity coming your way. It's awesome. It may not even look awesome when you first see it, but it is. It's awesome. You're gonna shrug. I'm telling you, the universe is all you don't see the whole picture just yet. Yeah, the Knight of Cups says it's going to be the knight in shining armor. In lots of ways, it's going to feel like a rescue, like a superhero swooped in. All right, that's the message from the spirit world to begin with. I want to have some details about this knight in shining armor. Is it someone outside of Amy? Is it a part of Amy? I don't know. Let's see what these two cards. There's a new opportunity coming in, and you can help create it. It'll be like having a knight in shining armor, but really, it's just because you're a powerful creator being, Amy. Let me say that again. You're a powerful creator being, Amy, and a lot of this is accomplished by your subconscious and your higher self, and you can do it in meditation. And the Eight of Swords says, as much as you can imagine. I mean, again, that's like my hermetic maxim for that card, as much as you can imagine. So there's no reason to find any kind of negativity. Why even amplify it? You're so awesome. You can create anything that you want. Right on, Amy. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for inviting me to read. Here we go. Oh, hi, Namira. I see that you just tuned in. I just drew the line. I know it's not in the chat, Namira, but I was going to close up shop after these readings. Sure is fun when you show up, and I enjoy throwing cards for you. Thank you, Namira. And now Kimberly Bamford gets a turn. So, Kimberly, 88 gemstones. Hey, I just got your message For Me to Be Me. Yeah, I got a little warning on mine too about connectivity. Right now, I'm okay, but I'm here. All right, so Kimberly Bamford, an enthusiastic tarot observer. Thank you very much for tuning in, Kimberly. Feels like we're at the craps table in Las Vegas. Come on, Tarot World. How about some fun, inspirational messages for Kimberly Bamford, please? These are Kimberly. You're good. Oh, okay, I'm back. Yeah. Thank you. The Knight of Pentacles, someone who's good at her job and should be proud of it, and everybody knows it. Then the Nine of Pentacles, you have been working so hard and you've been able to build up some good karma in what you do. You're not doing it just for yourself. You have your hand out to help others. Then the hermit shows up. You work with others, but you have a rich inner world as well. It's not just noise through channel surfing. You're amalgamating the meanings and the things that you take in. And that gives you a limitless perspective, says Hans. That's a pretty rich reading so far, Kimberly Bamford. And then you have the Six of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is the practical working parent, but you can see that she does have a crown. She's as regal and as lovely as any royal. And also, you can see that she has to put the crown on her own head. She has to remember that she's the boss and she's in charge, even if when she's in a parade, it says the Six of Wands, and everybody knows it, okay? If they forget to say thank you, she can remember that they meant to say thank you, okay? It's good when people say thank you. What am I getting at here? As hard as you work to... Here we go. I have two more left. I have Arizona Raven and Danica Crabtree. Here we go, Arizona Raven. Yeah, I'm going to go Ethereal Bloom. All right, thank you, Kimberly. Here we go, Arizona Raven. We're going to throw you some cards. These cards are for Arizona Raven. Please show us what Arizona Raven needs to see. Please tell us what Arizona Raven needs to hear. Thank you. Okay. These cards for Arizona Raven. Cards for Arizona Raven. Here we go, Arizona Raven. The Ace of Wands, there's magic in the air. The Seven of Swords, something is being revealed. Certainly no one's getting away with anything. Not when Arizona Raven's on duty. You're watching STARCARD podcast. You're feeling rejuvenated. There's magic in the air. There's a new revelation. The sun is shining. Well, there's a lot of light shining. There's a star. You can make a wish on it. Awesome. Is this what it's like? Every day, I feel like you treasure every day. I feel like Carpe Diem is like how you exhale. That's the song. That's the sound of the song you make when you exhale. Carpe Diem. Seize the day. It's wonderful. The Four of Swords. Yeah, we're so grateful for around us. Making things better, putting smiles on people's faces. Can we please have help with the internet connection? Okay. Well, we were in our groove there. The Three of Swords. Yeah, there's always problems, obstacles, even heartache and emotions. All right, get a hold of yourself. Tomorrow is another day. We could turn those Three of Swords upside down. Just because some animal went through the garden overnight, that doesn't mean that the whole garden is ruined. Okay, that's how things go. We'll just repair the fence and make better next time. And finally, the Knight of Swords says, yeah, we're going to keep on going in that direction. We have the power to do it. Great. So stay rejuvenated. You're on the right path. Way to handle the speed bumps. You're very good at cultivating, your reality, in short. Thanks a lot, Arizona Raven. Thanks for inviting me to read. All right, and Danica. Well, Danica, let's throw some foil cards for you. I want to say hi to Dirty Light Worker, hey, welcome to the show. I'm happy to meet you. I'm sorry that this is the last of the Tarot for the Audience, but I do invite you to subscribe and hit the notifications button so that you know next time we're going to throw some cards. By the way, if you're here for the fun stories and the unusual perspectives, I invite you to go to StarCard Podcast and check out the playlist. Cool deal. Welcome, Dirty Light Worker. These cards are for Danica. Thanks for tuning in, Danica Crabtree. Oh, buffering again. Hang on. Okay, 1:33:33 on my timer. Here we go, Danica Crabtree. The Tower card. What a dramatic card. Things come crashing down. Probably stuff that needed to come crashing down. You know, we thought I was going to stand there forever. I know what that feels like. But nope. Time to move on. Is the Death card on the way? I don't know. The King of Cups. The Tower might be coming down, but the King of Cups is not to say he's not nonplussed about it. It's a concern, but you know what? We got to control how we expend our energy. It's like, unfortunately, getting involved in a court case. That thing's going to drag on forever. You know, you can lose your mind and pull out your hair today and tomorrow, but you still got like 2.5 more years of litigation ahead of you. So hang on. And then, yay, here's the star of the show. It's the Knight of Pentacles. Well, what were we doing the whole time? We were working on this the whole time. We did our best to cultivate a beautiful garden, and we did a good job, and we looked good do it, and people recognize, or ought to have recognized, how, not that it matters, we're very proud of what we've done. We hold that pentacle proudly. So, yeah, so what? It's like they said in that Marvel movie, Asgard is not a place, it's a people. Wherever the people are, that's where Asgard is. So, you know, maybe Danica is, you know, not on a holiday vacation on a tropical island right now, but not to worry. She's still Danica. She's going to land on her feet, and everything's going to be all right in whatever new role Danica plays. We're just making up a story here. And there you are. We talked about cultivating the new role. There you are, 7 of Pentacles. Look at how you're nurturing those pentacles. They're really growing well. Yeah, corrected my grammar from earlier on in the show. So, Danica Crabtree, we close with, wow. Wow. Hey, Danica, the 4 of Wands is the homecoming and celebration card. And the Lovers card, I always say, I mean, you could say, yeah, it's romantic love. You know, it's the power of partnership. But I always say it's the spirit world right here with you, basically giving you a big hug and reminding you that the 10 of Swords, the hard times are over. That game is done. Okay. So the hard over, the Tower has crashed. If we had drawn one more card, it would be talking about, you know, a new adventure perhaps, but it's going to be something that grows out of what you've already cultivated. Whatever skills you develop, whatever experiences you have, that's what's going to lead to, you know, whatever the universe has waiting for you. So good luck, Danica. Thanks again for inviting me to read. I appreciate it. Hey, everybody. Want to thank you for tuning in. Thanks for making my day. My name is Breakaway Ray. Now get out there and make your own day. We'll see you next time on StarCard Podcast. Thank you again. That was awesome.